Well, it's a great pleasure to welcome to the MyBroadband conference the Chief Executive Officer at Liquid Intelligent Technologies, Deon Geyser. Deon, it's good to see you. How are you doing, firstly?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Aki. Nice seeing you as well.
So you guys have been undergoing quite a few changes over the last few weeks, rebranding. Liquid Telecom, it's now Liquid Intelligent Technologies. What was the motivation behind the rebranding and the shift that you guys have gone through? Because it's been quite interesting.
Yeah, Aki, it's been a very exciting journey the last couple of weeks, and actually the last couple of months. The rebrand actually is just supporting the whole transformation we have been going through as a group, and also, in Liquid in South Africa specifically. And the whole value proposition for us and opportunity is lying in the fact that, Aki, we have as a group more than 70,000 kilometers of fiber across the continent. In South Africa specifically, we have more than 22,000 kilometers of fiber. We have 600,000 businesses within a kilometer distance from our fiber network. And it's a great opportunity for us to seize the opportunities which we believe the digital transformation in the countries will be bringing to us with the arrival of cloud services, 5G related services, and the future of what the enterprise will look like with the build out of all these private networks starting up. And if you put the two together as a business, we felt the need that we needed to evolve, like what we've been doing the last 17 years, to go beyond connectivity. We have great assets in the ground, in subsea, in our data center business, with our VSAT business, and we just see a great opportunity to add value-added services on top of this great asset that we already have.
I love the word you used there, Deon. It's about evolution. You cannot stay
Absolutely.
stagnant in the world that we're living in today, especially in this digital transformation age that we're going through. So I completely get, and it makes complete sense that this move and this thinking from a telecommunications company and offering digital services to a more holistic technology group, because I guess that's what you are right now. It's a technology group, and that is this why you've made that particular move, so you can offer those additional services that you spoke about?
Absolutely, Aki. We've started the transformation. If you look at South Africa specifically, we announced a transformation middle of last year where we believed as a group team that COVID has just brought forward the digital transformation for our enterprise customers and for our customers in the various countries. And we felt the need that if we wanted to grab that opportunity, we needed to fast track our own transformation. So we started in South Africa the journey around middle of last year, whereby we started with an emphasis of, if you want to move from a typical operator to a technology company, it really starts out with what are the products and services you want to offer in the market. And we've seen phenomenal growth around many of the products and services that we had already offered. For example, cloud services, SD-WAN, security-related services, managed network services, unified communications, as an example. And we decided that, look, we will be focusing a lot of our energy in driving those growth products on top of our base, because while we had these services for a very few, we took a bold move and said, but look, we wanted to actually push that throughout our complete enterprise base. And on top of that, if you look at it from a sales perspective, is move down the track of being a lot more consultative in terms of our thinking of the way we sell, the way we build, the way we operationalize ourselves, and being a lot more customer centric in the way that we actually approach our business. It's a bit of a difference. I come from spending 15 plus years managing more technology companies than operator companies, and there's a different thinking if you look at the two worlds. And that's
Yeah.
why if you look at the leadership team transformation we've been doing recently, was to try and bring, I almost want to say, it's the best of both worlds together, that we can be a very strong operator for our connectivity and related businesses, but at the same time we can offer on top of that the related products and services, and be more consultative in the way of thinking. So to your point, very exciting. And what we can at least see is, if we take the last 6 to 12 months in our business, these products and services that we're focusing on has been growing, some of them 4x, some of them 10x. And we believe it's the future. And I think just important to note as well, Lucky, is that while Liquid is operating in more than 13 countries, we've also taken quite a strategic move that we will be strengthening our group structure to also allow us to offer these products and services homogeneously across the continent. Where
yeah.
we have been sort of a little bit focused on country per country operation, we've really taken the elevation and we've put in place, strong group structures. We've strengthened our South Africa business to support the group structure also a lot more. So, for example, when we go to our enterprise customers, which is offering products and services across the continent, they can only look at us. They don't have to go to other alternatives.
So I mean, it's a good analogy to use is that you were in the past you were offering a rose as a service, but now you're offering the entire bouquet of flowers, right?
That's what we're aiming to be. Absolutely. Okay,
yeah.
absolutely.
That's brilliant. And I mean, when you mentioned all those services, the cloud services, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that you mentioned, are there more additional products that you're bringing online that you're going to be offering to your customers? And I'm sure that must be on your growth plan trajectory.
So I think our current focus, to be quite frank with you, is that the last 9 months since we've announced this transformation has really been for us around building a solid foundation for us from a sales as well as from a product, then a delivery plus a support perspective. As I said, that we can add on top of our current connectivity business, a proper, I almost want to call it an SI structure, putting the right partnership frameworks in place, putting for us the right capability in place for us to actually execute on top of that. The next step for us really is to the point is saying, but what does our customers need from us? For example, we launched end of Q3 last year a product which is driven around working from anywhere. Of course, with the need of where the businesses will be evolving to, and that very soon will be developing into I almost want to call it business in a box, because working from home will be working from anywhere, will be business in a box, will be an SME solution. And to your point, we've productized that in a period of 6 weeks. Where traditionally, as an operator, we would have been struggling a little bit around the ideas of how do we actually very quickly productize a product into the market, put a proof of concept out there and put it into the market. And, that has been one of our fastest growing products the end of last year, whereby we actually go after I almost want to call it the consumer business, but using the enterprise for that. And we believe that is one of the key areas that will be growing, in terms of how the world of post-COVID will be evolving for our different businesses. So I think absolutely we are super excited about it. I think another one that we put to market at the end of last year was a lot more focus around our security business. We across the group launched that September of last year, and we see very good opportunities for us growing out of that because, just look at what happened with the Facebook hack recently, right? Yeah. It's IT security is probably one of the number one priorities for companies nowadays. It's just, to be honest with you, sad to see that our enterprise customers don't always right now see that, but the more and more these things happen, I think the awareness around IT security will start to pick up.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, you've highlighted some of those differences that you're making to South Africans' lives and businesses. I mean, those are two great examples, and I'm sure there are many, many more in the pipeline. What are you hoping to achieve, long term with these kind of solutions? Are you planning to make Liquid a go-to place for any solution that you want technologically in your organization?
So we have, to be quite honest with you, what I enjoy in our business, having come into the business fairly new. I started as CEO in January of this year. And what for me is very exciting is to see the growth products and what the team has been able to do with the transformation. Mm-hmm. The second thing is the asset base, which we have. We just completed the NLD 5 and 6 build out, where we're connecting with fiber inland from Cape Town right through to Durban, which is unlocking, all these tier 2, tier 3 coastal towns. And if you think about the additional undersea cables that will be starting to connect Africa, and with the cloud services, AWS, Google, the likes, Microsoft, what that will be doing from a transformation perspective. I just believe that the opportunities are becoming, I don't want to say endless, but quite a large scale of those, right? And for us right now, the focus is to get a lot closer to our large enterprise base. I've called out a strategy with our team to say, our top 100 customers, I would like to have face-to-face meetings with the CIOs and with the executive teams, and we've done about 60 in the last 8 to 10 weeks. And the great thing which I hear from them is, how do they see their digital transformation? How can we support them in that dialogue? And how do we get closer to them in that dialogue? We just 1 month ago started a concept of bringing a bit of a consulting capability in, that we can actually have that dialogue of saying, okay, well, what does digital transformation mean for your business? That we can help them in their journey, but beyond that, that we can also take the learnings out of that and see how do we need to transform over the next 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 years. So is there a goal in mind in the next 5 years? I think absolutely we have a great opportunity for growing significant amount of market share. And we're building the platform and foundation to allow us to build that. You would have seen publicly we've done quite a number of changes from an exco as well as from a level below that in terms of bringing additional capability in to put that foundation in place. And I'm quite excited that the right foundation will be giving us quite a strong opportunity track and a pipeline in the next couple of years.
Deon, what an exciting journey you guys are on. It's incredible to hear a company saying, we are listening to you, the customer. Tell us what you want. How can we help you guys? And this is who we are. This is what we're doing. And this is what we've got to offer you. How can we help you guys? And it's great that you're getting that kind of engagement. And I guess that to do what you need to do, you need to have great partners along the way. Tell us about some of the partners that have come on board on this journey with Liquid.
Yeah, very, very good point, Aki. If you look at our landscape of partnerships, right? I mean, in our network itself that we built, we have quite a strong set of OEM partners. The world-class guys. We have, Huawei, Cisco, Advent, the IP, optical, and wireless players that are supporting us from that perspective at an access layer perspective. But what we've brought on board recently is a couple of additional partners to help us with innovation, firstly. And the second one is to also help us scale in terms of certain delivery capabilities. Because if we go into a managed network services large-scale project, right, we already do a couple of them in the country. If I can call out a couple, like, for example, the likes of a Transnet or others, we have quite a number of them already in our stable. But if we need to scale faster, we also need partners that can scale with us and that can take the journey with us. So we've actually unlocked, strategic dialogues with the likes of Accenture, from an innovation as well as a future world thinking, as well as to go into certain application layers that we maybe don't have in-house and we're not thinking of building ourselves. We have added Logicalis, which is a very strong multinational SI, into our business to support us in areas where we don't have the skill or capability, and to not only do that in South Africa, but across the group. And I think that's the key opportunity for our partners, is not only about South Africa, but also about our international presence. And then thirdly, we are having also quite a number of security partnerships, for our security portfolio that we are starting to grow. And then, of course, I cannot leave out the likes of a Microsoft, yes, and a number of the cloud players that we're bringing on board, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're really trying to play from an access connectivity perspective at the security layer, at the application layer, and trying to combine that with managed network services that can bring all of that together and bring in unified comms. So if you look at that combination and you add to that what we're trying to do with the work from anywhere, in other words, getting to the last mile in terms of partnerships with ISPs in the form of FTTH partners, et cetera, it gives us the access plus the capability on the stack in order to scale to what our customers potentially will need.
Oh, it's really exciting stuff that you guys are going on. Just on a side note, Deon, how difficult was it to shift the mindset and the thinking of the business, the Liquid business among staff? Now I'm talking internally. How difficult was it to shift people's thinking to say, we were doing this before and now we're doing this? Was that a challenge to do internally?
So look, Aki, the last, I would say the journey from June till November last year, where we had to go through the bad part of a transformation, where you do skills assessment, who's fit for purpose for the future. That was a tough season, and it was a tough period for the business, because out of that process as well, at some point in time, not everyone fits the future operating model, and some people also choose to leave the company. But we are now at the exciting part of the journey. Since the 1st of December last year, we finished that part of the transformation, and what we have done is, with the selection of the people that we've made internally, as well as a couple of new senior leadership team members that we've brought into the business, with some very senior people joining us, our team is starting to see the opportunity themselves. And the good thing, which I like, is that, our customer engagements, our customers are telling our team, but look, you're at the sweet spot of where we want to go to from a transformation perspective. And that is building motivation. And then thirdly, we have revamped quite a bit our typical operating model. Again, a typical telco will say, build it and it will come. Let me put something in the ground and we hope to go and sell it from a future perspective, where that's one part of our business, but we're adding the capability in which is saying, what does our customers want? What do they need? How do we look at that and how do we achieve it? And let's start building that very quickly. And by picking a couple of those key fights and the team seeing the success, you start to breathe that energy in the business of saying, hey, but we can actually do this. And I think that's what's starting to become the exciting phase of our business, is where we've picked a couple of battles. We've won a couple of big ones, where typically our competitors were not the traditional telco players, they were the SIs of the world. And by really going out boldly on those, winning them, and the team seeing that we can actually do that, is providing a lot of momentum into the business. So to be honest, I think, as you were mentioning, the rebrand is one part of the story, but adding the rebrand onto it, puts a new picture on the business. We just completed the painting on the building. We're having our lit launch event on Tuesday next week with the staff. We're doing a lot of things to bring the energy levels up. And to be honest, we can see that fruit running in the bottom line of our business and the top line of our business. So it's the start of a journey, but it's not fresh. It's been there for quite some time, and we will be investing into that we can get to the end result.
Well, listen, it sounds like the aircraft has been refitted, new engines, new configuration. You've got the taxiing onto the runway. You've now taken off and you're already making it up into the sky. So good luck to your organization. Deon Geyser, Chief Executive Officer at Liquid Intelligent Technologies. Thank you so much for your time and joining us at the MyBroadband conference. Wishing you guys lots of luck and look forward to chatting to you at next year's conference to see what you guys have achieved in the last 12 months. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Aki. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you.